Welcome to Stage 2, Stage 3 of the manual and its delivery. Ron Brown's going to come on a little bit, and he's going to actually go over how to deliver it. But I wanted to interrupt for a moment because we made some minor changes in the manual to try to emphasize the importance of these meetings. And I want to review a little bit from my standpoint, some of the parts I feel you need to be focused on and trying to line your clients out for from day one, as well as part of the review. Now, one of the fun things you will often hear, this minor little verbal communication conflicts, Ron Brown likes to call these Stage 2 and Stage 3 meetings. Because to him, Stage 1 is ended, this is the presentation of Stage 2, and then Stage 2 is ended, this is the presentation of Stage 3. I put my focus more on the review segment of it. So to me, it's Stage 1 ended. This is the review of Stage 1. Then you get to go into Stage 2. So I always call them Stage 1, Stage 2 meeting. He correctly calls them Stage 2 and Stage 3. The reason I went over that now is not to give you our cute little peccadillos, but I think it's important to try to create an illustration of what you have to do here. Much like a site visit, when you get on site and the very first thing you do is you review the week's work that was done before, then you preview the week that is to come. This is the same thing as a big chunk. You are going to review Stage 1 in its entirety. You're going to then preview Stage 2 in its entirety. This is going to be a long meeting. I emphasize the importance. One of the main changes we've made is to try to stress indirectly, but still stress the incredible importance of doing the Stage 2 and the Stage 3 meetings in your office. These are planning meetings. These should not be done in the field. These should not be done over the phone. They're too big. There's too much to do. And it's nice to step away from the job. Sometimes you can review the job better away from it. You can go over things a little better away from it. So I emphasize, try to arrange for these to be done in your office. Give yourself enough of a window of time to do so. You're going to want to go over Stage 1. You want to go over it in detail, and not from a judging, not a finger pointing. This is education. You're a consultant. Remember who and what you are and who and what your title and job is. You are consulting. A consultant would review this. This is what went good. This is what went bad. And take this into account when you preview Stage 2, because now you know certain things about this client's personality that you didn't before. You would have presented Stage 1 slightly different to match to their personality, so they could have been slightly more successful if you had known. You get to take that into account at this stage. Okay? This is so important. And go over the Stage 2 in detail. Now, I'm going to start with the negative, and then I'm going to go into the positive, what I want. You've got to review budget. You're going to have some clients that are not going to be willing to share their finances with you. For whatever reason, don't know, don't care. They're just not. In that case, you still need to review budget. You're just going to review it as generic, which is all you're capable of. And yes, a client's going to love to come at you in realistic application and say, oh, it's over in this area. Well, you can't own the overage for the potatoes when you have no knowledge of what the cost of the carrots and the steak and the salad. Either give me it all or don't try to give me ownership of any of it. You're going to have to deal with that a little bit, but on the whole, I'm going to pretend you don't for right now. The client that's unwilling to give you the financials, review Stage 1 under the aspects of construction. Also review the Stage 1 budget. This shouldn't take too long. This is where the money would have gone. This is the percentages. This is where we should be. This is how that was structured. Then preview the financials of Stage 2. Be sure and go over this with the client. This is where the money's going to come into play. This is where you're going to have to spend. This is what you're going to be doing. Be watching for these little quirks that often pop up on budget. If you're going to come in under, this is a good place. If you're going to go a little over, that's a good place. Review all these things with them. You are here to wisely serve and help. There's no conflict. There is no need for covering your butt. You are a consultant, do your job. Now, we are trying very hard to emphasize in some of the verbiage of the new manual, not just to come in for these meetings and not just to be ready with all the reviews, but very specifically to be ready to review the budget in detail. In which case we are requesting the client share their checkbook with you. Give us your ledger. Why not? So I'm not asking you to give me access. I don't want to sign your checks. Give me your money. What have you spent? Give me your receipts. Give me your credit cards. Give me everything. In this case, be aware you need the client to give you at least a week's time. It's going to take time to do this level of proper forensic accounting. It's going to take effort to get in there and do that. So get this client to send you their financials beforehand. Then you can review the stage 1 budget with all the possible knowledge that you could. And you can realistically say, hey, this is where we went over. This is why we went over. This is where we came in under. This is why we went under. This is something you spent money on that wasn't in the budget. And you can you're not here to say, oh, it's all your fault. I don't care about that. Finger pointing stuff's irrelevant. The milk's on the dang floor. Or it's in the freezer and doing great. I don't care, but we are where we are. Let's figure out how we want to apply that. How are you going to make it up, Mr. and Mrs. Client? Where is the funds going to come from? Where can we try to make adjustments as we flow into stage 2? What do I need to go into here? Let me consult, give you advice so that you can best make the decision, and then let me know what it is so I can best help guide you through accordingly. We cannot do our job to its absolute best potential without this information. So encourage the client to share the financials with you, encourage them to come in, and make sure you schedule this planning meeting as much as a week or so in advance as possible. Be aware you're almost always going to have to schedule this as a night or a weekend meeting. I know that sucks. I know you don't want to. Boo-hoo-hoo, such is life. Hopefully you're better than me. Hopefully you can do these at 8 a.m. or hopefully you can do them at 3, but you're going to have to do a lot of 5:30, 6:30 meetings for this, and some Saturday meetings for this. It just is the nature of the beast. Be aware of it, plan accordingly, hopefully. But guys, follow what Ron has to teach. He's going to teach the actual application, but I wanted to stress the importance of theory. I wanted to stress the importance of lining people out early, even in your very first sales presentation, that we do this. This is a positive thing. This is not a negative. There is no aspect of this that is bad for the client or hard to get in. It's bad for you. It's a lot more work for you, but it's phenomenal from serving the client for what they're paying you very well for. It is phenomenal from serving the client to overcome the negatives. It is phenomenal for serving the client to continue to have happy clients and good referrals, and to help them know that they don't have to be afraid. There's always a solution. It is you that are there to try to help them. So remember the vast importance of stage 2 and stage 3, the vast importance of having them come in, the vast importance of the review as well as the preview, the vast importance of making adaptations as needed, and the incredibly vast importance of being able to help the client decipher their budget. It seems so clean and easy at the start, and as we all know, it gets real complicated real quick. You're the expert. Be ready to help as much as you can. Thank you guys, and have a great time learning from Ron.